Hi, Michael.
Hey, Julie, how are you?
Good, good. Um, so if I just go into the question that I am curious to ask you, it would be, since you've worked with a lot of faculty at Columbia, I mean, that's how we met, and I know you have spent many years helping faculty out, and doing a really great job at it. Do you have any insights or advice for people who want to work with teachers? I know for us, it's always challenging. They have busy schedules. It's not the primary thing they want to focus on because they have their own things they need to do. But any advice?
Yeah, I mean, first, thank you for that. That was very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. And, thank you for asking because I really I have found a lot of my colleagues, they don't tend to like working with a lot of faculty, and you have to have I guess you have to have a certain demeanor or mindset to want to do it and be good at it. So maybe this answering this question could help others who might not know if they would like to work with faculty or what's entailed. So I'll just give a few things that I think are important. Um, I think one is service oriented. It's really a mindset, and I think to be good at customer service, if you will, you really have to have a lot of empathy. And in this case, working with faculty, I think the empathy is, teachers don't necessarily want to come and have to ask you for help a lot of times. They're going out of their way. They might be a little embarrassed. Maybe a little ego is involved. They could be doing other things. They're getting behind. So to come and ask for help is hard sometimes. And I think you should really be empathetic to that because they're very smart people and they just might not know how to do this thing that you know how to do. So keep that in mind when they come for help, empathy, um, and be service oriented. Um, as far as my sort of demeanor, I try to never use, $5 words. What do I mean by that? Well, George Orwell had this. He wrote in one of his books. It's always been kind of I keep close to me. Um, the enemy of clear language is insincerity, and I like that. He was talking about politics and how people misuse language, but I take it to be, my sincerity is I want to help you. I might not know everything. I might make a mistake. I might have to go back and think about the problem you're having and get back to you. That's like my sincerity. So I'm not here to dazzle you with my grad school education or big words or, frameworks and things. I try to keep it pretty much, clear. Um, Conversely, though, I try to never dumb anything down. I remember this book, I think it's called Simple. I think it's called Simple, but in there, the author made this distinction between simplistic and simplified. And he said simplistic is talking to people and treating things like they're simpler than they actually are. That's simplistic. But to simplify something means to be means clarity. It means to be able to break things down. It means to be articulate. It means to be able to explain it to someone else. So try never to be simplistic, but try to simplify things for faculty. I think is a big part of the job too. Um, I always thought of myself sort of as a diagnostician. I even in my LinkedIn, I call myself an ed tech diagnostician because
I love that.
thank you. I try to approach it with, what are your goals? What problems are you facing? What do you want to do? If you had your druthers, what would your druthers be? What do you want to make? What do you want to achieve? Like, I want to know those things so we could build something better together. So I think like a diagnostician. Um, Another thing too, I feel like if I'm going to do something with the faculty, I'm always willing to share the risk because as a teacher myself, I think a teacher's nightmare is to have a instructional designer build something for them, and then when they're not there, maybe a night class, this thing sort of doesn't work or implodes, in front of their live audience. I think that's a nightmare. So if I'm going to help build something, I will always figure out I'll be there, or that you could give them my email address. I could come in on a Zoom and teach your students. Like, I want to share the risk with the faculty. And I think that's a big part of helping them, working with them. And this is a lot of my colleagues who do this too. I don't think they have this sort of mindset. I try to think of myself as not a researcher, but more of a researcher in the field. Meaning, I would have a lot of faculty coming into my office, and a lot of times they'd have sort of rudimentary issues, uploading files or building a syllabus. And sometimes they'd come in frequently. And instead of getting bothered by that, I said, well, I went to graduate school. I've done research. I'm a professional. Why don't I look at this like, maybe what are the barriers here? Is it older faculty? Are they afraid of technology? Is there a learned helplessness component to this? Why aren't they learning? Is there what is the barrier that they're not getting this? And then everything becomes, there's nothing below you, because everything becomes part of your research of like, I want to know more about why certain faculty aren't getting this, or what can I do differently, or can I build a workshop? But it's all research in the field. So, those are some of the things I try to think of myself as a lab manager. And I hope they were the right things to do and be. And I hope someone watching this would say, oh, that's interesting. I never thought of that. Maybe I would be good at that, or I wouldn't be good at that. You know what I mean? So thank you for asking. And for anyone out there, if you're interested in faculty development, let me know. We'll talk. Thanks for the question.
Awesome. And I want to, having actually worked with you directly, can vouch that you do all these things that you put, and that empathy piece in particular just made me think about technology as being this other language that sometimes people don't understand. And so, I'm Korean. If I had to go and give a presentation in Korean, I would be struggling because it's not a language that I have, master grasp of, right? But it's not that I don't have things that I want to say. And it's not that, I'm not an expert in other areas. I just can't communicate. And so I see the empathy piece as being huge because, these teachers who come may be really great content experts in one area, but it's just the language of technology that they can't speak. And just to understand them and help them through it and put yourself in their shoes to get them through it. So, I really appreciated that being sort of your opening thought about this, because I think that's important.
Thank you.